There's the usual pre-race buzz here at the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia as the crews go through their final preparations for this classic ocean race to Hobart. But the tension that often accompanies the prospect of a strong southerly front somewhere down the track is replaced by a sense of excitement here, brought on by a forecast that predicts strong downwind running conditions all the way to Tasman Light. We asked the skippers from boats of all sizes what they made of this forecast, how they think they're going to fare, and who they have as short odds winners for the Tattersalls Cup for the overall handicap win.
The weather actually looks fantastic for the first three quarters of the race, but the last maybe 100 miles will very much depend upon, there's a change coming up the Tassie coast, and very much depend upon how far down the track we get before the change hits us. I think the Italiano boat, which is the Cookson 50.
This is Mascalzone Latino.
Yep, it's a Cookson 50. They've got a lot of crew from America's Cup campaigns. Ichiban would have to be good. Patrice, I think, sort of getting down to our size boats.
Oh, it's fresh. I'd be surprised if there's not a record on the horizon there. You got to bear. Everyone forgets that Loyal, when it broke its record last year, it actually slowed down for a fair while, and doesn't appear to be any of that this year. Probably Wild 866 is there. Yeah. Last year's winner, Giacomo.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So I think it's going to come down to not making mistakes, and it's going to come down to your crew work. You know, everyone's got good platforms, and it's what you're going to do with it, to be honest.
Kilo is a wonderful boat. She was built 1964, 53 years old, and the 1971 race winner, 3 days, 12 hours. And at the moment, morning's routing, we might be struggling to beat that. I think handicap is probably going to be in those 50 footers. I mean, they're good boats. They're top boats, so they perform well anyway. So TP52, Cookson 50.
Oh, the forecast is great for everybody this year. Maluka, she will be up the back of the fleet, but we'll really be enjoying the early part of the race. A bit of a transition at the end, which is going to be very tricky for us. But we're looking forward to it as normal, and looking forward to being in by New Year's Eve. I would put some money on Patrice. I think they're a very good chance this year, and obviously Matty Allen's new boat, which is a bit of a dark horse.
I'd like to say it's relatively straightforward, this one. The breeze has been steady and the models have been stable for 2 or 3 days now, so everything seems to be relatively straightforward. And of course the fast boats shouldn't have to deal with that southerly change at the end, as long as we get there in good shape. I think the 50 to 60 foot range is very well placed, actually. I think it's going to be a fast race, certainly for the big boats, and if we can hang on to them, and we should do, it's the right sort of forecast range for us, then why not?
Well, this is the first time that Army has sailed in the Sydney or Hobart in 20 years, so a forecast like this is absolutely fantastic for us. Race-wise, not so good.
Well, you know me, it's great. We're going to win, as usual. Actually, I have tempered it down a little bit this year, only because it puts so much pressure on the crew, they reckon. But we'll certainly be aiming to win our division and then just see how we go from there. And we've made a booking with the Gunrunner crew at the restaurant for 8:30 on the 31st. So they better definitely be in by then.
I'd say the mid fleet, the 50 footers, is who would have the big advantage to that.
Well, I don't like that one about like everybody says, it should be in the 50-foot range, but that's like saying a horse is going to win the Melbourne Cup, because most of the fleet is in the 50-foot range. Therefore, I'm thinking a boat around about 34 feet. It would be perfect.
Well, it's going to be an exciting race. We're looking forward to this. This race is very iconic and very infamous, so we're ready for anything.
Well, we're hopeful based on the first couple of days forecast, and we couldn't have a better crew. We're really lucky to have Adrian Cahalan on board, so we feel like we're in very good hands.
For my 39th, I think it's looking pretty damn good. One of the easiest ones, I think this is going to be just a straight boat speed race. Actually, I'd put my money on Wild Oats 10. They're actually going to break through to the next weather pattern, and they're just going to be there at the right time.
It's a little light on the start. We would prefer a little bit more wind because we're limited in our sail wardrobe. But once the wind fills in down the coast, we should have a really nice spinnaker run for most of the way down the coast. And then when we hit the Bass Strait, we've got like some strong westerlies arriving. So there may be a little light wind hold just in the lead up to the westerlies filling in.
So if you had your money, where do you think the winner might come from? What sort of bracket?
Us, of course. I mean, our goal is just to, be able to offer a really great learning curve for these girls, push the boat and ourselves as hard as we can, and if we give 110%, then we know we've done everything we can, to be successful in this race.